All right, well, good evening to all of you here watching live coverage with the Ohio News Network, Ohio News and Weather, I should say, and Bell Park Weather Network. I was thinking of them a minute ago. Not a good way to start off. But anyway, thank you for joining us here this evening in this early morning hours, I should say, a Tuesday here on the 16th of July. We're currently looking at some storms tracing across Indiana right now, and kind of talking about they were heavily tornado warned as they were back towards Chicago. Right now, we do have some tornado warnings out just outside of our coverage area, and some severe thunderstorm warnings that are in our coverage area here in Indiana. So we're dealing with that. If there's some sort of good news, is this is kind of the first time in that leading edge that we have seen severe thunderstorm warnings be issued out front. That's a good sign, and maybe it has a trend of weakening to some extent with the tornado threat hopefully starting to diminish. Still can't entirely rule that out. So just kind of give you a quick view here of the board. Let's go ahead and zoom out across the entire coverage area here. This is kind of that squall line that we're looking at back towards just coming into Indianapolis as well. But you can see these polygons. These are quite large. Usually on severe storms, you don't necessarily see as large of polygons as these, but they're giving you plenty of lead time tonight, especially with some of these severe thunderstorms that are rolling through the area. And we need to talk real quick here as we go up towards the northwest Ohio. We need to discuss here real quick about the line that's rolling through, and that's going to be impacting our counties here in just a moment. So for LaGrange and Noble and part of Whitley County in Indiana, we need to look at this one right here. This one has been tagged considerable, which means winds can be in excess of 70 miles an hour. So that's something that you need to be taking that warning and almost treating it like a tornado warning because of the winds. It's something that you want to take very seriously, so make sure, again, that you're getting away from windows, kind of getting into that interior room of your house. There's been a lot of damage reports that are starting to come in now from Illinois, and upwards of, I think it was like 10 tornadoes they were tracking along this line. Now, like I have said over the past couple of scans, this has really started to die down in the terms of rotation. We still have some rotation up towards the north that we're looking in Michigan, but it looks like as it's approaching Ohio, as we talked about maybe earlier if you were watching, it is starting to die out just a little bit. You can see the tornado warning been expired there for portions of Elkhart County, St. Joseph, and Marshall counties there in Indiana. As this is approaching its way, again, we don't want to undermine the threat at all. This still has the potential of producing severe wind damage as it moves towards the state of Ohio. But we also want to be very cognizant of the fact that the rotation is lessening, which is a good sign, and we're almost tornado warning free here across the Indiana Hoosier state here, and it'll be tornado warning free here in just a few minutes. This one goes until 12:45, but they may let that one drop early as that rotation also kind of looks to be on the downhill of things, which again is great news in terms of tornadic activity. But again, we don't want to undermine the situation that's happening, and as this approaches Ohio, and the determining factor is going to be over the next few minutes. This can either start to weaken considerably, or it can kind of stay the course, and we'll probably see some more severe thunderstorm warnings out ahead of this, and the intensity does hopefully quiets down just a little bit. The considerable tags are something we don't see very often for severe thunderstorm warnings around here. So in 70 plus miles an hour in excess winds, that is a little bit concerning. So, looking kind of across this as we head into the overnight hours as well, we could see some of these storms get a little bit cranky. The question really becomes again on how it holds together or not as we head into the next several hours. Currently, the category outlook looks like this from the Storm Prediction Center. You could see it update there. This is what it's currently looking like. So you kind of see right on trend almost. We're seeing this enhanced area be shoved out just a little bit on the latest update, which means they see numerous or could see numerous severe thunderstorm warnings. We've already met that criteria. But as it starts to approach in the Ohio area, it moves into that next category. So the slight risk area, hopefully it starts to die down. We could see, and again, as we head into the overnight hours, hopefully there's a weakening trend with this. That's what our hope is. That's what we continue to see, and we do think out ahead of this there is some possibility of that looking at the conditions right now. Still, though, you can't let your guard down. You still could see some of these storms become, again, on the severe criteria side. You kind of see we have some widespread warnings right now, but definitely can still see couple of these storms get a little bit cranky, especially if you're in that, I'll turn it back on once again, if you're in that slighter risk area, especially across northwest Ohio. Elsewhere across Ohio, kind of looking through the green here just a little bit, I'll zoom out. You kind of see you're in that marginal risk category for the possibility of some storms as we head into the overnight hours. And again, this is going to be a line, and it may become a broken line as it gets a little bit weaker, but you'll see some rain overnight tonight. And again, some of those can be a little bit on the cranky side, and you could see the potential for having some severe thunderstorms. And again, we totally can't rule out an isolated tornado tonight anywhere across the Buckeye State or even ports of Indiana. Obviously, we can't rule that out. If I turn on the categorical outlook for tornadoes from the Storm Prediction Center, this is their latest thinking. Obviously, we have a greater chance where it's occurring right now, but as it crosses into Ohio, it looks like that threat really starts to diminish, which is a very good sign for us here across the Buckeye State. Hopefully we're on that downward trend. Now, some of you have been asking, hey, what about potential watches? Right now, we don't see any activity from my end. I'm not sure if the team on the back end is seeing anything, but from my end, I don't think we're seeing a lot of activity. Now, we are seeing a mesoscale discussion here. See if I can load that up. The latest mesoscale discussion here. I'll see if I can flip over to that. This is kind of what you were seeing here. I know it's a little bit out of focus. Apologies for that. This is the latest one that's coming out. So there is thunderstorm development. This may pose some hail and wind threat. They're going to continue to monitor for a possibility of a watch here for extreme northwest Ohio. And you can see over here to the left of the screen that they gave that a 60% probability. So they're going to watch it. That would be the next watch if they're looking at this as the slow's coming through. That would be the next watch area that we'll be looking at. So we'll have to kind of wait and see. We're going to be one of those games of wait and see what happens. I hate to be so blunt, but it's going to be kind of some now-casting situations as we head into the overnight hours. So we go ahead and turn off that outlook once again. We're currently tornado warning free across Indiana now, so that's the first time we've seen that here this entire evening, and I should say the entire day. But we are looking at that, and I can hear my weather radio going off in the background, and so that means a watch is coming. A watch is currently being pushed out, and I'll try to get that for you here on the screen in just a moment. But there is a new watch that has just been issued for portions of Ohio, and that's should be populating here shortly on your screen. So that's one of those things kind of in real time. And I'm texting my team. See if we get that watch graphic for you so I can show you right now what counties as it starts to populate. So out ahead of this, we know a new watch has just been issued. We're looking at some considerable threat here from the National Weather Service, the way they're tagging this right now across northern Indiana. So right now, encompassing in any of our coverage area here, looking at the two counties that we cover, and even over here in the Fort Wayne area, this has been marked considerable at this point. So again, there is a watch out for places elsewhere that's not in our coverage area. Down here, this is not in our coverage area. They do have some rumbles of thunder down there. Looks like a more weakening trend on that more southern flank of this storm. Let's see here. Give me 1 second. Trying to repopulate some of that data for you. It's acting a little goofy, I should say. Give me 1 second. See if I can get it populated, but still not coming through just right. Give me 1 second here. All right, I'm going to pop this new watch graphic up on the screen for you. So let me go ahead and do that quick. So here's the new watch from the Storm Predictions, well, it's issued by the Storm Prediction Center in conjunction with the offices. So here's the new watch that's been issued. So we were talking about it just a minute ago. Here's the new watch that's been issued till 5 a.m. So a severe thunderstorm watch for portions of the counties here that we cover, Northwest Ohio and Northeast Indiana. So this is a new severe thunderstorm watch. It goes until 5 a.m. And again, they're saying a couple tornadoes possible, hail and wind. So the big key thing on this graphic I'd like to point out to you is, again, that 70-mile-an-hour tag. That's considerable damage, which can be very powerful for some. And 70 mile an hour can cause a lot of damage, a lot more damage than what we see in our normal severe thunderstorm warnings. This is more of an enhanced severe thunderstorm warning. So let's take you back to the live map, which decided to populate now, so you can kind of see that new watch also come in here on your screen. Zoom back out. Again, goes until 5 o'clock. So if you're anywhere in those areas, 5 o'clock is when it is. So kind of looking on here with this severe thunderstorm warning in progress, we'll go ahead and zoom back into our the one in our coverage area up here. So kind of looking at this warning. This one, again, we'll flip on this. This goes until 1 o'clock in the morning, and it's going to be decision time here in just a few minutes if they reissue that out ahead of it. If we kind of put a track on it as far as, let me put the actual movement of the storm here and kind of see which way this is moving. Kind of seeing got a little bit more of an outflow that was created there just on the outer skirts of this. So this is kind of give you that general direction and movement of the storm. Go ahead and bring it back into here. So if you're out ahead of this, Fort Wayne, heads up to you. This is coming your way next. Some of our other counties up there, Steuben County and DeKalb County. So up here, even Allen County for Fort Wayne, Indiana, Whitley County. And as we continue to move down, yes, you're continuing to see this whole line is considered basically warned for the criteria of 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts. So as we continue to move forward here, let me go ahead and stop that so we can get some real-time data to you. And let's go ahead and flip this over to, let's kind of look at base velocity real quick. Just to see if we're seeing any type of rotation. I got it off screen, not seeing a whole lot there. But this is regular velocity. You see these embedded marks. Very strong winds here with some of this. So see 61, 66, kind of looking at this here, 68. So you see some of these embedded areas of very strong winds that are out ahead of this. I'll zoom out a little bit, kind of show you. But you can see some of these areas are triggering 67 miles, almost 70 mile an hour wind gusts along this line. So it's a big embedded type thunderstorm, and these are within the actual storm itself. When we flip back over to velocity, it's going to be kind of that rain wrap. So it's going to be almost tropical, if you will, and kind of looking in that way because you have a lot of rain blowing around with these storms. You can kind of see it's embedded there. Very, very strong winds embedded within this whole line of storms. That's why it has been tagged considerable damage here for Northeast Indiana. So kind of looking at this one more time, let's go ahead and see if I can see if we can get this going here a little bit, see if this is going to work well today. Let me go ahead and do a line, and give me one quick second here. I'm loading something else up to do a little bit of a track on it here. I'll go ahead and move this. And let's kind of draw this here. Ooh, that was a bad draw. Let me draw it again. Sorry about that. So kind of looking here at the storm on this leading edge, kind of give you a little bit of a track on what we got going on. This is moving at 49. They say 49 knots. That's quite fast. I'm not sure. I'm not going to put it at 40. Yeah, I'll take it down to about 45 miles an hour. That's more like it. And let's see, at 240. Yeah, okay, so we're on track with it. Actually down here. There we go. All right, so we put some impacts on here. Sorry about it took just a minute to track that up. LaGrange, if it kind of holds together here as far as an intensity goes, 1242, Fort Wayne 108. You can get in on the action. And again, I think it's moving just, kind of at leading edge, depending where you're at in Fort Wayne. It's definitely going to reach the western edge of Fort Wayne before that. So Fort Wayne proper 108, Angola 111, Mount Pelier 136 as it continues off towards the east. Sorry, some of you, I know some of you are asking questions about when we'll hit my town. I honestly have no idea where some of those towns are, so I apologize. But you have to kind of say here, general consensus is, depending on where you're at, Northwest Ohio, you're under the gun now. They've issued that watch until 5 a.m. So if we look at that, the newest watch that came out here, again, has been issued until 5 in the morning. And again, looking at max wind gusts of about 70 miles an hour or so. So zooming on out here, we will kind of continue to watch this storm. You can see they trimmed it back once again. I'm going to continue to watch this storm with you. I'm not going to overhype it right now. I just wanted to come live and let you know if you're out ahead of this, you definitely need to make sure that you have a way to receive warnings as you go into the overnight hours. You always can download our app. You can search for Ohio News and Weather in the Google Play Store or the App Store, and also you can search for other apps too. We're cognizant of the fact there may be a better app choice for you. It's very possible. Anything to get you the warning and wake you up. Also, make sure tonight where to go when you see the potential for some of these storms being a little bit cranky for tornadoes. Make sure you know to get to the lowest level of your house, put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. And finally, make sure you charge your devices here in the overnight hours before you go to bed. Get them on the charger now, just in case we were to possibly lose some power as we head into the early morning hours here of Tuesday. So we're going to continue to monitor this. We're going to continue to post things. We'll continue to wait and see if this trend over the next few minutes starts to die down. We'll zoom back out here for you. We're going to wait and see if the trend dies down a little bit. But again, nevertheless, depending on where you're at in Ohio, if we flip that back up here kind of as a takeaway, looking at the categorical outlook, again, even if you're in this yellow area, that slight risk area, you potentially could see some thunder bumpers overnight tonight for some severe weather, obviously, and then also you need to be cognizant of the fact that we could see 1 or 2 tornadoes that possibly happens in that as well. And also kind of the latest thing here, just to let everybody know, the severe thunderstorm watch was obviously issued just a few moments ago for portions of our coverage area here. You can see right here, portions of our coverage area goes until 5 a.m. So definitely need to make sure that you keep that in mind as you head into the overnight hours. Make sure if you're going to bed, have a way to receive warnings. We'll continue to come back live as we need to, and we'll continue to keep you updated here with all of our platforms, with Bell Park Weather Network and the Ohio News and Weather Network as well. Continue to keep it here. We'll continue to come back.